Hey everyone, Reaper here with another video. I'm going to go a little old school with this one where I used to just show the book and less me. Back in the day I used to do this all the time, these type of videos. So I'm going to do it with this video right here. Now, this is going to be another little series that I have. It's going to be when I get my CGC books back from CGC, and then I showcase the next set of books I'm sending to CGC. So it's a CGC submission type of video for those of you that are interested in these sort of things. So, and also before I go on with this, I'm going to make a video, my top 12 books I want to get for 2025 very, very soon. All right. That should be out maybe within the next week. But for right now, let's do this. So back in November, I submitted 5 books to CGC. I got 4 of them back a couple of days ago. The 5th book I'm probably not going to get back for a while because I also added pressing to that book. So I'm going to show you the 4 books I got. I'm going to, obviously you're going to see the grades. I'm going to tell you what grade I thought the book was going to get. Right? So let's get started. Here we have Adventures into Terror number 30. Now I purchased this book raw back, I don't remember, maybe in October of 2024, and within a month, because I sent them out early November, mid-November, within a month I decided to get this thing graded. Now originally I thought that this would come back a 6.0, and as you can see right here, it came back a 5.5. It's an off-white pages when it comes to page quality. So, not exactly what I thought. I have to admit that this one bothered me a bit. I really thought it'd be a 6.0. Now you might say, well, what's the big deal? It's only half a point. Yeah, that is true, but I was still hoping for something a little bit better, and I didn't get it. And I really thought that this one would get a little bit better, but as you can see, it didn't. So it is a bit of a disappointment. So anyway, before I get to the next book, this is an upgrade. I'm happy with the upgrade. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm complaining about a 5.5, a difference between a 5.5 and a 6.0. But I originally had a 3.0. The page quality was cream. The back of the cover was kind of tanned. This is very much, even though numerically it is a better copy than the 3.5, absolutely. But it really, I'm happy with this one. And this book right here, it's hard to find. It really is, especially anything out of that low grade range. I think I can, I'll take this one off. All right, let's move on to the next book. The next book I got, next book I submitted for CGC, I purchased it raw, and within a week, I sent it with this batch out to get graded. So here we have Fantastic Four number 52, the first appearance of the Black Panther. Now I purchased my original raw copy back, I believe in 2015. So it's 9.5 years ago. I can't believe it. And I sold that copy, I don't know, 6-7 months ago, whatever. I believe it was a 4.0. It had its issues, obviously it was a 4.0, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I wanted to replace it. This one right here, as you can see, it got a 6.5 off-white to white pages, so I'm happy with the page quality and all that stuff. And honestly, I'm happy with the grade, too. However, I did think, again, like with the Adventures into Terror 30, I thought I would get a 7.0. Whereas Adventures into Terror, I got a 5.5. I thought I would get a half a point higher. I thought I would get a half a point higher with this one too. So I honestly don't know why this did not get a 7.0. It's a really nice copy. It really is. You might say, well, what about, it's hard to tell on the on here, right? Like, oh, how's the spine? With these black covers, you could really see the defects. It has a couple, but nothing too bad. It's a really nice looking book, front and back and inside. So I don't know why it didn't get a 7.0. So I was a little disappointed, but again, like the Adventures into Terror, a big upgrade from my previous copy, and I am happy with it visually. It is a beautiful looking copy. All right, 2 more, and then we'll get into the books that I'm going to be submitting within the next couple of weeks, and then I'll do a video when they come back. and then I'll showcase the next set of books I'm going to be doing. All right, the third out of 4 books. Third book in this. What's this? A little bit of dust on it. Let's get that right off. Well, here we have The Haunt of Fear, number 12. As you all know, this is my favorite cover, my favorite Graham Ingalls cover, and this was really the book. I bought this, about 7 years ago. This was really the book that started me into trying to get mid to higher grade copies of my EC books. You know, this was the first, and it was a long time for me to really get into the groove of upgrading EC books, let alone upgrading books. Because I remember I originally had a 2.5 copy of this, and this is my second copy. I've only had 2 copies of it, and it came back a nice 6.5 off-white pages. I think it's nice. I'm happy with the grade. Oh, there's that piece of dust, or whatever it is. Sorry about that. I'm happy with the grade. I thought this was a nice 6.5 upon re-examination of it before I sent it in, and I'm happy that I got the grade I thought I was going to get. It really is, the colors on this really pop, the blues, the yellows. It's a really nice looking 6.5. Would I upgrade this again? If the price is right, of course I would. But I'm not actively looking to upgrade this. If I saw a nice 7.5 up for sale one day, price is right, I think I could sell this one, I would do it. But for right now, I'm incredibly happy with this. But this was a book, like I said in the beginning of my conversation about this book, this was the book that really started me looking to upgrade my ECs. Because I was, at that time, for many reasons, I was content with lower grades. Just having the book was a big deal for me, especially my favorite cover. But then after a while, I was like, well, if you wanted to get a better grade on an EC book, this would be the book for me because of the cover. So, not bad. And the last book to come back from CGC, like I said, I submitted 5. We're not going to see that one, the 5th one, for a while because it's going in for a pressing. But when it comes back, I'll see if I could group it with maybe another CGC set of books I get back. But the last one is this one. X-Men number 14, the first appearance of the Sentinels. A 7.0 copy, off-white to white pages. So the submissions here, at least in this video, I like the page quality. You know, I'm not a big fan, even though I have several of these, I'm not a big fan of cream to off-white. I don't mind them as much, but I'm not the biggest fan. So to get this set of books back, off-white to white or just off-white, you know, was a bonus for me. So I'm happy with that. And this was exactly the grade I thought I was going to get. I had purchased this book almost 10 years ago as an upgrade from my crappy 1.5 copy that I purchased back in 1993. I still have it. It's really bad. I should have taken it out to put the comparison between the two, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, I upgraded that book in the summer of 2014, and I got this. Now, this book here was originally a PGX 7.0 copy. And when it came in the mail, I mean, I was all new to this stuff. I was new to CGC, CBCS, and you know, PGX. I didn't know which was better. I purchased this off of eBay back in the summer in July of 2014. I didn't know. I saw a PGX copy for a price I was willing to pay, and I got it. So I know people back then, it's like, oh, you're taking a risk and all that. And I didn't know off the top of my head. So when the slab came in the mail, the slab was damaged. Yeah, you could open it from the bottom, and I was like, oh boy, that's kind of messed up. But it still had the inner thing around it. So instead of returning it, I just simply said, what the hell. I cut it out of the little inner bag, if you will, that it was contained in. You know, nowadays, these CGC books, and even I think other books, they don't have that as they did. You look at an old CGC book, there would be like a little plastic, that the book would be encased in another little plastic thingamajig inside the slab. But anyway, I cut it out and I just, added it to my raw collection. And I said one day I will get it graded again. And one day came almost 10 years later. And it came back the exact same grade that PGX gave it. So, well, not bad. You know how I upgrade books. Will I want to upgrade this book one day? Maybe. I might want to upgrade to an 8.0. You know, I've talked about upgrading endlessly on this channel over the last few years. You know, hey, always look to improve. But am I happy with what I got? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So those are the slab books. Now, before I get to the books that I'm going to be submitting within the next couple of weeks, some of you that submit books regularly, you know that CGC raised its prices. Yeah. This next tier that I'm about to show you, I'm probably going to have to go a higher tier to submit these. At least I think. I don't know. But regardless of whether you're submitting high value to the high value tier or the vintage tier or whatever, prices have gone up. I've heard people say like, oh, you should boycott and all that stuff. I'm not boycotting anything. Prices go up. That's just the way it is, you know, unfortunately. All right. Let's see the books that I'm going to be submitting. It's going to be a Spider-Man submission. So I'm going to be submitting this one right here, Amazing Spider-Man number 5. Now, in this video, I'll tell you what I think the grade is. And then when these eventually come back, we'll see if I was right or wrong. I think this is going to get maybe a 2.5, at the very best a 3.0. It's a low-grade copy. And so why am I getting it graded? I'm getting it graded because I am going to sell it down the line. This year, little sneak peek before I, give you my top 12 books I'm going to try to get in 2025. I'm going to be trying to get a lot of Spider-Man upgrades. Some of which from last year that I was unable to get will be joining this list this year. I think this is one of them. I think this was on my 2024 list that I never got around to. Well, it's back on the list. So for me, I think it's a 2.5, maybe even at best, maybe a 3.0. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 3.0. I don't think it's anything less than a 2.5. I don't think it's anything more than a 3.0. But I hate arguing with people when it comes to selling these books raw. Well, I think it's a 2.0. I think no one ever says they think it's higher because they always want it cheap. Well, I'm going to get it submitted and we'll put that to rest right then and there. All right. So I am slabbing it, grading it to sell it so that I could get maybe a higher grade. I don't know what kind of grade I want to get right now. I might want to get, I don't know, 4.5. I think that would be pretty good. I think that's in my price range for Amazing Spider-Man number 5. Okay. The next one I'm going to submit is this one. Amazing Spider-Man number 6, the first appearance of the Lizard. I think that this is probably maybe anywhere between a 5 and a 5.5. Unlike the Amazing Spider-Man number 5, I am not submitting this to sell it. I mean, of course, I'm always open to get higher grades if the price is right. If this wound up getting a 5 or a 5.5, I would most certainly be open to getting a 6 or a 6.5 down the line if I should encounter the right copy. Sure. But I'm not submitting this necessarily with the intention of selling it like the one underneath. I think it's a nice looking book, and that's why I want to get it in the slab. The next one, Amazing Spider-Man number 13, the first appearance of Mysterio. I think this is a 4.0 copy, and I am submitting this to one day sell it and get, I would like to get a 6.0 copy of the Amazing Spider-Man 13. Again, not a bad book, a little tanned, but I think it's a solid 4.0. But we shall see. 2 more. I know I'm going out of order here, Amazing Spider-Man number 2, the first appearance of the Vulture and the Tinkerer. Okay. Again, I'm not slabbing this to sell it per se, like the last one. But it's number 2. To me, it should be in a slab. I think that this is going to get a 3.5 or a 4.0. If it should come back a 3.5, I will most certainly down the line sell it to get a higher grade. Whether that be a 4.5 or 5.0, I don't know. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in and how badly I want it. But if it comes back a 4.0, I wouldn't be in such a rush to sell it. But again, golden rule, if you see a higher grade copy and the price is right, it's possible. Never say never, right? But that's what I think it's going to be, a 3.5 or a 4.0. All right, the very, very last one, and then we're going to close. Hope you enjoyed the video. Is this one. This is one of my latest purchases. This was on my top, what was it? My top 15 purchases of 2024, I think. I don't know. I think so. I forget. But anyway, this is definitely another one that I'm going to send out to get graded. I've had several copies of this book over the years. My first copy was purchased in the summer of 1996. I think I told you that story. I think it was like maybe, I don't know, what was it, a 2.5, 3.0? I forget what I said it was in the last video, or the video where I showed this. And I always mention this, I always say, oh, I purchased this, geez, it's almost 30, that my original copy almost 30 years ago, right? And I always get that one person that says, oh, and you sold it? Like, yes, of course I sold it. Even back then, I knew that one day I would like to get better copies of these things. And the better copy came. Originally, it came in a 4.5 CGC, but I sold that to get this copy, to fund this copy. I think this book is going to come back as 6.0. I would be shocked if it came back any less. I think it's going to be a 6.0. Do I think it's a 6.5? I don't know. I don't think so. 6.0, right down the line. All right, everybody. Well, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you looking to get some book slab? What do you think of CGC increasing the prices? I mean, I'm pretty sure no one likes that, But, it's just the way it is, unfortunately, But I hope you enjoyed the video. Happy New Year, everybody. And I'll talk with you soon.